Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Max.
And I'm Maya. Welcome back, everyone.
Maya, today we are tackling a topic that is responsible for more frustration, more anxiety, and more silent suffering among English learners than almost anything else. Let me paint a picture and tell me if this sounds familiar. You sit down to watch an English podcast or a movie. You turn off the subtitles. You understand 80, 90, maybe even 100% of what the speakers are saying. You know the words. You get the jokes. You understand the story completely.
Yes, you feel like a genius. You think, wow, my English is actually getting really good.
Right, but then 30 minutes later, you walk into a coffee shop where you join a work meeting or someone on the street stops you and asks, "Excuse me, do you know where the nearest train station is?" And suddenly, boom, your brain freezes, your chest gets tight, your heart starts pounding. Words that you knew 30 seconds ago completely vanish into thin air. You stutter, you stumble, you squeeze out a two-word answer like "go straight," and you walk away feeling absolutely embarrassed.
Oh, Max, stop. You're giving me nightmare flashbacks. That is literally the story of my life. It is the most confusing feeling in the world because your brain immediately asks, if I am smart enough to understand English, why on earth can't I speak it?
And that question makes people draw a terrible conclusion. They tell themselves, maybe I'm just not good at languages. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'll never be fluent. If that has ever happened to you, I want you to take a deep breath right now, because today, Maya and I are going to prove to you that you are not stupid, you don't have a memory problem, and you don't lack intelligence. What you are experiencing is a very specific gap in your brain, the gap between passive knowledge and active muscle memory. Today, we are going to close that gap once and for all.
Okay, Max, explain this to me. How can my brain understand a word when I hear it, but fail to produce that exact same word when I try to speak it?
It comes down to how your brain stores information. Your brain has two separate rooms for English vocabulary. Room 1, the passive library. This is huge. It holds thousands of words you recognize when you read or listen. Recognizing a word requires very little brain power because the speaker or writer is doing all the heavy lifting for you. Room 2, the active toolbox. This holds words you can recall instantly without thinking, pull out of your brain, and send to your mouth in less than half a second. When you spend all your time listening to podcasts, reading books, and watching videos, you are constantly dumping thousands of words into your passive library, but your active toolbox remains completely empty.
Ah, so understanding English is a recognition skill, but speaking English is a production skill. They are two totally different muscles in the brain.
Precisely. It's like watching someone play the piano on YouTube for 100 hours. You can watch their hands, listen to the beautiful music, and understand every single melody. But if someone hands you a piano and says, "Okay, now play that song," can you do it?
No chance. My hands wouldn't know what to do.
Because watching a piano player builds recognition. Playing the piano builds muscle memory. And here is where so many learners make a massive mistake. They think, if I can't speak yet, I must need to learn more words. I need to memorize native idioms, rare phrases, and advanced grammar.
Wait, is that really a mistake? Isn't learning more vocabulary a good thing?
Not if your goal is speaking. Let's address something very honest right here, Maya. You do not need to sound like a native speaker. So many courses pressure learners to memorize complex native slang or eliminate their accent. But in real life, nobody cares if you sound like you were born in London or New York. What people want is clarity, simplicity, and confidence. You don't need a bigger library. You need to start moving the simple words you already know from your passive library into your active toolbox.
Okay, that makes so much sense. But Max, if we already know these simple words, what is blocking us from pulling them out of our active toolbox when we need them? Why do we freeze up?
There are three invisible walls that build a barrier between your brain and your mouth. When you write in English, you have time. You can pause, rethink, erase, and correct your grammar, so your written English looks great. But when you speak, you expect your spoken English to match your written English instantly. When it doesn't, you freeze out of fear of making a mistake.
Guilty as charged. Every time I start a sentence, my brain acts like a strict grammar teacher standing over my shoulder going, "Wait, is that past tense? Are you using the right preposition? Don't make a mistake."
And that internal teacher suffocates your fluency.
What's the second wall?
The spotlight effect. This is a psychological trick where your brain convinces you that everyone in the room is staring at you, judging your accent, and counting every grammar error you make.
It feels so real, though. You feel like all eyes are on you.
Here is the dramatic truth. Nobody is judging you. People are way too busy worrying about their own lives, their own problems, and their own insecurities to care if you forgot an S on the end of a verb. In real conversations, people just want to communicate with you. The third wall is how you spend your practice time. Most learners spend 95% of their time consuming English, listening, reading, watching, and 5% or 0% actually producing English with their mouth.
It's like going to the gym, sitting on a chair, watching other people lift heavy weights for 2 hours, and then wondering why your own muscles aren't growing.
Spot on. You cannot build spoken muscle memory through passive consumption.
All right, Max, we get the problem. We understand the three walls. Now give us the blueprints. How do we take words out of our passive library and force our mouth to speak them automatically?
I have 4 simple, low-pressure daily exercises that will transform your spoken English without needing a native partner or moving to an English-speaking country. You do not need another person to practice speaking. Start by talking to yourself out loud for just 2 minutes every day. When you're making breakfast, okay, today I'm making coffee. I need water, a cup, and some milk. When walking to work, it's a bit cold today. I need to finish that report by 3 p.m.
Why is this so effective?
Because there's zero judgment. No one is watching you. You're building the physical neural pathway between your brain's thought center and your mouth's muscles in a completely safe environment.
I've heard a lot of people talk about shadowing. How does it work properly?
Shadowing is simple. Play a podcast or a short video clip. Listen to one sentence, pause it, and immediately repeat that sentence out loud, matching the speaker's rhythm, pause, and emotion.
So you aren't worrying about what to say because the speaker gave you the words. You're strictly training your vocal cords and mouth muscles to pronounce the words without hesitation.
Exactly. You are building spoken muscle memory without the stress of generating original thoughts. When learners freeze, it's usually because they're trying to construct massive, complex sentences with 15 words. Stop doing that. Strip your thoughts down to ultra-simple 3 or 4-word sentences. Instead of, "I was contemplating going to the supermarket because I lacked food items," just say, "I need food, I go store, I buy bread."
That is so liberating. It takes all the pressure off.
Simple communication spoken quickly beats complex communication spoken with 10 pauses every single time.
Max, what should someone do when their mind goes blank mid-sentence during an actual conversation?
Instead of freezing and letting out a long, painful, awkward silence, use bridge phrases. These are natural filler phrases that give your brain 2 or 3 seconds to retrieve a word while keeping the conversation flowing smoothly. "Let me think about that for a second." Or, "How can I put this?" Or, "That's an interesting question."
Ooh, I love those. They make you sound calm, thoughtful, and natural, even while your brain is hunting for words behind the scenes.
Max, this whole discussion comes down to a massive mindset shift, doesn't it?
It really does, Maya. Language is not an academic test. Nobody is going to grade you at the end of a casual conversation. Language is a tool for human connection.
If you make 3 grammar mistakes, use the wrong tense, and speak with a heavy accent, but the other person understands your feelings, your thoughts, and your ideas, you won. You succeeded.
That is such a powerful way to look at it. Fluency isn't knowing every word in the dictionary. Fluency is the ability to communicate your message without letting fear stop you.
So stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop waiting until your English is perfect. Start making small, imperfect, messy speaking noises today. Talk to yourself, shadow podcasts, use simple, short sentences, and give yourself permission to make mistakes.
Let's do a quick recap of today's game plan. 1. Understand the gap. You don't lack intelligence, you just need to move words from your passive library into your active toolbox. 2. Forget the native myth. Aim for clarity and confidence, not a fake accent or complex slang. 3. Smash the 3 walls. Let go of perfectionism, ignore the imaginary spotlight, and prioritize speaking over passive watching. 4. Practice daily.
Now, we have a challenge for every single one of you watching or listening right now. We want you to start closing that gap today. Leave a comment down below in simple English, finishing this sentence. One reason I struggle to speak English is... Type your answer out loud as you write it. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Just express your thought.
We can't wait to read all of your responses. If this episode brought you value, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a friend who needs a little extra confidence today.
Keep practicing, stop overthinking, and speak up today. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.